Should the sound of ribs snapping turn you on? You're gonna love a good old alien movie then. Let's see some blood. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I am Rob. We're doing Alien Romulus. I just got back from the cinemas and this is a non-spoiler review. Now this one's directed by Feldy Alderez. I can't pronounce the prick's last name, but he did Evil Dead and Don't Breathe, which were bangers, I thought. So you know it's going to be pretty decent, this movie. Basic storyline, if you don't know it, a bunch of young scavengers are gone to this ship and you know the rest. Aliens. There's aliens. You know where the story goes from here. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to tell you the good from the bad. Now, if you don't know where this movie goes in the timeline of the Alien movie timeline, pop it up right there. This is 20 years after the original 1979 Sigourney Weaver movie, and they do give you little bits and pieces, but you'll watch that and you'll find out the storyline properly. But that's where it sits in the order of watching them, if you wanted to watch them in order. We'll start off with the good. The good is it felt like the original. It felt like the original. The ship looked like the original. The technology of the computers were like the original. I love it that they didn't use new technology. They kind of used the old fucking original Apple style fucking computer, which is sweet. So I liked that. That is the good. Oh, there's more. Of course, the aliens looked amazing. The aliens looked the best so far in all the Alien movies. Very detailed. The fucking slime from their mouths looked fucking wicked. Everything about the aliens looked fucking top notch. I loved the look of them. You're not going to be disappointed in the look of the aliens. I thought the kills were fantastic. The kills were pretty good. They could have been better and more gruesome and fucking disgusting. But they were basic, but they were still good kills. I would have liked more blood, but it was good enough. The kills were good. As for the story, I really liked the story. I don't want to give too much away, but they really get into the first half an hour of this movie of why they are going to that ship and how they get to that ship. And it's really good storytelling with how the alien is on that ship. It's very quick, but it's also great storytelling as well. They get it over and done with like that at the start and show us how, and that is fucking great. I love how the story unfolds of why the alien is on why the aliens are on the ship. It's good. It is a good storytelling and it's a good story. The music in this was great. The score was pretty good. It really made me feel like the 1979 Sigourney Weaver movie. I really did like the score. But the main thing about this movie, it made me feel like the original. No way as good. I'm going to give you my score at the end. No way as good as the original and the freaking sequel. But this is in the middle here, and it's a good little story, and it did make me feel like I was watching the original. The set looked fucking great. It looked cool. It looked excellent. The ships looked fucking amazing. They did some good detail in there and all that as well. And same at the start before they even freaking fly up there, and the little transport ships and all that looked cool as well. Everything all about that was good, but let me tell you about the bad. Some bits of the movie were very underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put you away from this movie because I enjoyed it, but there is some real things in this movie that fucking ticked me off, and there's some things that were just underwhelming. Without giving spoilers, they could have paced it up a little bit more in some areas. I didn't like the fact that it was a bunch of 20-year-olds going on this. I know the story is about this bunch of young people going to scavenger, but it took away that feel of, because you know, Alien and Aliens, they were all 30 to 40-year-olds, and this is a bunch of 20-year-olds. That kind of pissed me off a little bit because, you know, it's more believable when they're a bit older for the decisions that they make. But I'm not going to hang that on them, but some of the acting was meh, like meh. There's a couple of them that just did make me go, hurry up and fucking die. You piss me off, prick. Some sections of the movie were a bit dark, and when I say dark, I mean like it was hard to see. it was a lot of yellow lighting, and I know that's what they're going for because, of course, all the lights that are on are like this. Hold on. Like this. It was like this a lot of the movie, where it was very yellow lighting. And at first, the first half of the movie, yeah, it's pretty cool. It makes sense. It makes sense because all those lights on the ship are that yellow and all that. But it starts to get a little bit old, and I want to see a little bit more detail of what's happening and the kills. So that ticked me off only halfway through the movie. The first half, I could dig it. Even though I said the kills were pretty good, they were pretty good. Not gory enough though. There was no jump scares at all that made me jump at all. There was nothing that made me jump in this movie once. Unfortunately, there was not like the original one where you get a little bit anxious when you're watching it and it causes a little bit of anxiety. None of this movie makes you anxious at all. Didn't make me anxious. This is my review, my personal opinion, remember. You all might have a different opinion, but nothing made me feel on edge and have anxiety like the first two movies. So, but apart from that, don't get me wrong, still a good movie. Just a few more jump scares would have been good, and some surprise kills would have been even better, but all good. Fuck, he did the Evil Dead remake. You would have thought he would have made it a bit more gorier, but it's all good. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, which really ticked me off, because this movie was kind of close to a 7.5, maybe a little bit more, and this really dropped some points in the score factor for me, because the last 30 minutes of this movie I fucking hated. I would have given the last 20-30 minutes of this movie probably a 1 out of 10. The last 20-30 minutes really shitted me, and don't get me wrong, you might fucking absolutely love it, but personal opinion, it really pissed me off. But apart from that, it was a good story. The aliens looked amazing. The acting was meh. It was in the middle for me. But the story, I'm a story person, and I liked the story. I loved the background and the scenery of everything inside the ship, the old technology, everything like that looked good. So this one's only going to get a 6 out of 10 for me. 6 out of 10 blood popcorns. And that's only because the last half an hour, 20 minutes, fucking sucked assholes and really pissed me off. So it would have been around a 7.5, but it's only going to get a 6 for me. I'll watch it again once it comes out, and hopefully I like that a little bit more, the ending, but it really pissed me off. I really recommend to go see this at the cinemas, though. It needs to be seen. The aliens need to be seen on the big screen, but it's nothing as good as the first two. But look, it's better than Resurrection and Covenant, and that, in my opinion, and Alien vs Predator is better than those. So I recommend go see it. 6 out of 10 blood popcorns. Like, subscribe, do what the fuck you want. Make sure you say hi to your mum for me. I'll be back doing whatever the fuck I do. Until then, see you.